Dear brothers and sisters, all of us who come to the spiritual path, come from various backgrounds, various cultures, and various traditions. Now, faiths that we were born in were all different. And then each faith wants us to know God. Each faith wants us to be with God. And the spiritual path is a path in which we try to find out about ourselves, our real self, and try to find the connection with the Creator who brought all creation into being. And so in that process, it's an exploration. We explore, and as we explore, we get into territories which are unknown. And when you get into territories which are unknown, it's very easy that if you get into an unknown territory, then you're a little scared. You're a little worried that things will work out the same because you've never been in that territory before. And so what helps us is if we have some guidance. And that's what the role of a spiritual master is. See, we're searching for God. We don't know where God is, we don't know how God is, we don't know how to get to God, we don't know what to do. So we are exploring. And as we go on the exploration, we're not sure if the direction that we're taking is correct or not. And if we don't have guidance, then we can go this way and this way and this way and this way and never get to our goals. So the key is to be able to make sure that our exploration towards our goal is as focused as possible. And the role of the spiritual master is to focus us, to keep us on the path in which we truly know ourselves, to keep us on the path in which we can connect with the Creator, so that none of our energy is lost in like trying to explore other things, so that we are not wasting the time that we have in this physical existence to be able to get to our goal. We're all children of God. We're from the royal family. There can be nothing bigger than God, right? So we're all children of God, but somehow we've been brought into these faraway lands. Okay? And as we came into these lands, we got different clothing, we got different coverings on ourselves, we've forgotten who we are, so we're wandering. And we're just trying to survive. And this is why when we look at our lives, all of us are worried, we have this problem and that problem, and sometimes, the covering that we have is getting messed up and the pain because of that, and the suffering that we all feel we're going through is because we're associating with these coverings that we have. We don't realize who we are. And then God, who knows that we've been lost, wants to find us. So how does God find us? Because if God comes in God's own glamour, we don't recognize God. Because God is all conscious. We're so used to, in this state that we are in, to only experience that which is of the physical, because we are today in the physical body. So then God takes these souls, who are called saints and mystics, and gives them a human frame so that we can at least relate to them. And so the role of the saints and mystics is to ignite in us the truth of who we are. Through satsangs, through their love, they talk about God, they talk about our real self, they talk about us being away from God, they talk about us being able to meet God, they talk of us being one with God. As we start to open up to them, we start to realize who we are. And this is why we honor a spiritual master, not for anything else. just that they've ignited in us that passion to know who we are, so that they're protecting us as we're living in these far-off worlds from all the attractions of this world, which take our time, which we all have in this human body, and use the time to focus on getting to our goal, which is to know ourselves and to know God. And so, as we look at all the gains that we get in our being because of the presence of a spiritual master in our lives. First, through their talks, through the satsangs, they are encouraging us to know ourselves. They are telling us about the connection that we have with the Creator. They're telling us there are regions beyond this physical region. That there are spiritual regions. Those regions from where we came. There are true homes is not this physical world. There are true home is what is called Sachkhand, or the region of all truth. And there are various regions in the middle before we came to the physical world. And so we've gravitated from Sachkhand to the region of all truth to this physical region of ours, and that we can all journey back to our true home. And it is this message of the spiritual masters which ignites in us a passion to truly know ourselves and to take steps towards the Creator. And as we take steps towards the Creator, then we'll find that the very purpose for which we have come into this world, we start to take steps to fulfill that purpose. We should think about the gains that have come into our lives through the help and grace of our spiritual master. We should not only think about what gains we've got, we should also see how we can be on our way back to God. And so that comes through practice. And so not only are they igniting in us a passion to know God, they are showing us the way. They're showing us the mechanisms of trying to experience God. They're giving us the mechanism by which we can rise above physical body consciousness, a mechanism by which we can experience the light, the love, the joy, the bliss that we truly are. And so that we can journey, from the physical to the divine. Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj, who wrote much about the spiritual way, and he wrote much about our journeys back to our true home, and wrote much about the life that we should be leading. He had written many, many verses on spirituality. I'd like to take one of his verses, which talks about unity. It talks about oneness, and it talks about all of us being one and the same. And so this verse, in its original form, is as follows: says, "Diyare ishq mein kya imtiyaz e darshan." कि दयारे इश्क में क्या इम्तियाज ए दर्शन, यहाँ सब एक हैं, अदना भी और आला भी. यहाँ सब एक हैं, अदना भी और आला भी. So in English it translates, in the land of love, discrimination has no place, O darshan. In the land of love, discrimination has no place, O darshan. Here all are one, whether low or high. So here all are one, whether low and high. This is the closest English translation we can do of this verse. But if you look at the verse, it's very interesting. It said, Diyare ishq mein. Diyare ishq means like an arena of love. And why is he choosing the arena of love? Because to know the realities of existence, we need to be in love with God. All of us saints are telling us God is an ocean for all love. Our soul, being a part of God, is a drop of that ocean. So our soul is full of the love and light of God. And the saints have said that the way back to God is also through love. That the way back to God is in which the soul is going to unite with the Creator. And so when you have unity, then there's no more duality. And so the lane of love is very narrow. The two have to be one. Then only you can walk on the lane of love. On the lane of love there can be two. So when there's a lover and a beloved, they have to be together, then only the life goes forward. If one is going one way, another going another way, you will never be together. So think of an example of two people who are coming together. So when two people are coming together, they have to be in love to be together. If they're not in love, they're going to be going in different directions anyway. Okay. So when they're in love, then they are coming together. And so when two people are in love, what happens? They're like in a cocoon. And this is why they say love is blind. Doesn't mean you can't see, it means like they're oblivious to everyone else. All they're thinking about is themselves. All they're thinking about is oneness. They don't want to think about, any difficulty on the outside, they're not thinking about any problem, they just want to love each other, they want to be with each other, they want to spend all the time together, they don't want to waste even a single moment on anything else. And so that's the Ishq. Like, in the Urdu language, there are many shades of words for love. Like in English, we only have love. So love can be love for a child, love for a parent, love for a spouse, love for everything. There's love. And there they have all these shades. And also here, we have, we see someone, we like them, we say we love you. Okay? We've seen them for 50 years, we still say we love you. Okay? And so the love can be starting small, then get bigger and bigger. There are the different words. Pyar, mohabbat, ishq. So it gets, you start with a small one, then you get bigger, then you get, boy, ishq is like, you're entrapped. You're there. Okay? So this is diyare ishq. So to be one with God, you need to be in that mode where you're totally loving the one you're with. And so Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, in that arena of love, diyare ishq mein, kya imtiyaz e darshan. He's saying, in that state there's no discrimination. And this is why when you look back at history, you've seen the kings fall in love with paupers. Yeah, and you see that in history all the time. Yeah, you see princesses fall in love with like a commoner, right? Which otherwise in society doesn't work like that. Because when you're in love, then it's what is bringing you together. It's not what state you guys are at. It's not what cultures you're from. It's not what backgrounds you're from. It's that if you love, then you love. Okay, and so there's no discrimination. So Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is explaining to us that as we love God, don't feel that you're not worthy of loving God. Okay? Because many of us sometimes feel, oh, God is the creator and God is running all the show, and we're like pawns, we are very little, we don't even know God knows about ourselves. And so Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying that God loves you tremendously. Okay? That's why God has given you this human birth. Because in the second line he explains this very nicely. He says, "Yahan sab ek hain, adna bhi aur ala bhi." So these are very interesting words. So he's saying, like in this diyare ish, in this land of love, in this cocoon of love, everyone is the same, whether you're a human being or you're God. Like when you're in love, the beloved and the lover, when they get together, they're all one and the same. And this is why in many of the writings of the saints you'll find they say, oh, I got colored in the love of my beloved. Okay? That I am one with the beloved. Or the two became one. And so that's what Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is telling us, that each and every one of us is a child of the Creator. So we're all from the royal family. Okay? We've been lost because we got enamored by the regions in which we came. We wanted to explore, and as we started to explore them, we forgot where we came from. We're like in amnesia. Okay? And someone needs to come to wake us up, and that's the role of the spiritual master. So when they come in our life, they make us understand who we are. Look at our lives. How do we live? Every morning we get up. Hopefully we brush our teeth. Most people take a shower in the morning. In the West, many people take a shower in the night. Okay. Or a bath. We have breakfast and go to work. And we're spending all day. Now in that time, do we remember God? No, we're just thinking, oh, this work is so important, I need to focus on this thing. I have to get this thing done. If this thing won't be done, if I'm late here or something happens, and I don't get this, and God knows what will happen. So we just focus on what we think is important. We do the click, 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 click. And then we come home, we're very tired, we want to relax. Nowadays, many people either looking at your TVs or looking at your tablets or phones or whatever gadgets you think make you relax. And at that time, you're not thinking about God. So all day long when we do our activities, and that night we go and rest and sleep, we're not thinking about God. Then how are we going to connect with God? Because we get up the next morning with the same routine. So someone has to come and ignite this passion in us to know God. And that someone who comes is the spiritual master. Not only are they igniting in us a passion to know God, because time and time again they tell us we need to love God, we need to love God, we need to love God. And so how do you love God? So you need to experience God. So to love God, we need to experience God. To experience God, we need to sit in silence. We need to take our attention away from the world outside, because the power of God is reverberating within each and every one of us, 24 hours a day. We just need to connect with it. So that power is always there within us. And the power of light and sound, or Naam, or Shabd, or the holy word, it's always reverberating within us. And so they teach us mechanism by which we can meditate. Still the body and still the mind. And as we still the body and we still the mind, then we start to have experiences of the inner light and sound of God. And as we have those experiences, we find ourselves in a state of bliss. We find ourselves in a state of joy. We find ourselves in a state of peace and calm and happiness. And because we start to relate with who we truly are. And as we relate with who we truly are, then we realize that this life has been given to us so that we can get off the wheel of transmigration. That there's an opportunity to know God. And so Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, Yahan sab ek hain, adna bhi aur ala bhi, saying, in this land of love, everyone is one and the same. There's no high, there's no low. There's no good, there's no bad. There's no young, there's no old. Everyone is one and the same. And this is why in one of his verses, Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj written, he says, when I came to the assembly of the spiritual masters, everyone was a young there. Everyone was one and the same. Even though age-wise, there are people who are 90 years old sitting there, there are people who are 5 years old sitting there, but everyone is in the youth. Why? Because in the youth you're the most powerful, in the youth you're the most strength. And so he's recognizing that irrespective of the age that we have, that under the guidance of the spiritual master, our soul is always nourished. And as our soul is nourished, it has the power to rise above physical body consciousness. It has the power to soar through the inner spiritual regions. It has the power to find its oneness with God. And so let us remember that we all have a purpose as we come into this human existence. and the purpose for each and every one of us is one and the same. And that is to truly know ourselves and to know God. And so as we focus our attention on being able to truly know ourselves, it can only happen as we take our attention away from the world outside. And so, for us to be peaceful, for us to be calm, we need to find the peace for ourselves. As a human being, we are always trying to fix others. We're saying, you be peaceful, you do this, you do that, do that. Not realizing that others also maybe are telling us the same thing. So as we pass through life, we realize that we cannot affect the life of others. The only life that we can affect is ours. So we need to calm ourselves, we need to be peaceful ourselves, we need to be happy ourselves, we need to be searching ourselves. And Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj would often say, he would say, neither your father, nor your mother, nor your brother, nor your sister, nor your children can meditate for you. Each and every one of us has to meditate for ourselves. They can help guide us, they can help us sit to meditate, but the meditation has to be done by us, because we all have our own experience of God. Okay? So we all need to be on the spiritual journey ourselves. And so that's the key, and that's what's very, very important. And so the spiritual masters are there to ignite this passion to know God, to show us the way, to give us the guidance, to help us in the inner spiritual journey, because as they initiate us in the mysteries of the beyond, then their radiant form sits here at the seat of the soul. It's always waiting for us to invert, to focus within, so that it can help us soar through the inner spiritual regions and get us to such kind where our soul can find its merger with God. And so the key is to be able to take our attention from the world outside, focus it within, to be able to connect with the divine light and sound of God, to be able to get to the radiant form of a spiritual master within. And then all the journey is going to be guided by the spiritual master. And we, as we practice the tenets of the path, as we put ethical virtues in our life, as we lead a life of caring and sharing, as we are helpful to others, as we are loving, and as we are in a state where we've controlled our ego, our ethical base is made. And then as we find the time to practice the spiritual practices on a regular basis, we'll find that slowly, we are getting to a state where we can be one with the Creator. As we focus our attention on the spiritual arena, as we focus our attention on the land of love, Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj is saying, we're all one and the same. There's no high, there's no low, we are all the same. So we have an equal chance of getting to the goal. And so when we put in a tremendous effort, or we put in an effort to be able to focus on a goal, then we'll definitely make it and we'll definitely get there. In one of his other verses, Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj says, he says, मिलेगा रूह को परवाज दे के देख जरा करीब है उसे आवाज दे के देख. He says, you will surely find God. All you have to do is give a flight to your soul. God is closer to you than your jugular vein, but we need to sincerely cry out for God. And if we do that, then we will definitely get to our goals. So we need to be making good use of the time that we have. We all have been given a certain amount of time in which we'll be physically alive. And so we need to focus in on trying to reach our goal. And so it's my prayer to God Almighty and to the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and Dayal Purush Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light in its effulgence. So let us meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeballs should be straight, focus 8 or 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. And those of you who are new there, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. The repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. I pray to God Almighty and to the three great spiritual masters of the past century to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and to experience the light in its effulgence. I will be sitting for a few minutes and I'll be getting out of this meditative state, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off. Please leave off.